All right, hello, welcome back to the stream, everybody. Good to see you all again. So today we're going to be working again on some more content. I'll show you what I got done. So yesterday we started working on a Necromancer gun, which summons little skeleton bullets. And I was having a bunch of problems with getting all the different systems working with those bullets, but I basically have it all in place, as well as the weapon art and everything. So I'll show you that in just a second. And then the other things that I want to do for this stream are, let's see, I want to add a haunt status effect, which is going to be innate to the Necromancer gun. And what else? There was something else that I wanted to do. Oh yeah, I want to do, yeah, some just effect stuff. Get through some passives, other affixes. So we are going to give it a shot, and we're going to see what we get done on the stream today. So before I get into it, I want to remind everyone that if you'd like to support my work, I have links to my Udemy courses available in the description. That's the main way that I'm making my income while I'm doing this full-time indie dev. Hopefully that changes with Gunforged, but you can support me by purchasing one of those courses, and also that will teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. If you'd rather wait for Gunforged to be out so you could purchase that, please wishlist it. It's available in the link, well, the store page link is available in the description below, so you can wishlist it. You can also play the demo. Gunforged will be out very soon, so yeah. And otherwise, you can support me for free by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, all that good stuff. So everything is linked in the description below. And thank you in advance for your support. And thank you to everyone who has already supported. Now let's get right into it. Hello, Emerson. Welcome back. Great to see you. Hello, Defected. Welcome back to you as well. Hello, Josu. Josue. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. But welcome. It's great to have you here. Neozoid. Great to see you as well. Marcelo. First time here. Welcome. Welcome. All right. Let's get right into it. Hosua. I'll try to. I don't know. I'm an American. I can't do those. But we'll see. Okay, so I'll show you the Necromancer gun. Smash that like button, everyone. Yes. All right. So let's see. Not interested in delaying you, but could you really quickly show how that folder structure works for you? Yeah. So are you talking about the folder colors? If you're asking about the folder colors, that's just a built-in editor setting. I think you can just change the color here. But if you're asking about the actual structure, I like to separate the textures and the sounds into a separate assets folder. And then I have my custom resources or Godot resources in a separate resources directory here. And then scenes is pretty self-explanatory. These are all my scenes files. And then I separate the scripts out from those. So that's kind of how I think about things. There are people that do other things where they will put everything, like if I have an entity, for instance, they'll put all the sound effects and textures and script and scene all together in the same directory for that entity. I don't like that structure because it ends up getting messy when you reuse sounds like for example, or reuse particles across different scenes, you end up needing like a shared directory anyway. So I just split those out ahead of time, and that's how I do it. Hopefully that explains or answers your question. Great work, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Liked. Very nice. Okay. So let me show you the Necromancer gun. Organizing files is a hard thing to begin with. Thanks a lot. You're welcome. Yeah. I think it's the most important thing with the project organization is that you're doing it in a very predictable way. So if you're working by yourself, just organize it in a way that makes sense to you. If you're working with a team, make sure everyone's on the same page about project organization. The consistency really is the key. I don't know if the exact structure really makes that much of a difference, but anyway, so gun Necromancer left. So here's the Necromancer gun. I don't know if you could see it that well, but it's like a little hand with a little skeleton charm here. And when you shoot, it summons skeletons, and the skeletons will just automatically pathfind to the closest enemy. So what's interesting about these skeleton bullets is the pathfinding aspect of it. So they do not travel like normal bullets. They actually generate a path, which means that they'll avoid obstacles to the best of their ability. So you can see that if I do this, they kind of go around this little brazier here. Now, if they do end up colliding with the brazier, they die just like a normal bullet. Or if they end up colliding with a wall, they'll die. But they do their best to avoid obstacles. And that's particularly useful, for instance, in the cave level, because there's a bunch of floor pieces. So they'll actually run around the floor holes and go and attack things. So if I do this, you can see that I can just kind of like shoot and they'll just go after whatever they're going to go after. And these bullets, they're just like normal bullets, so they work with all the affixes. So you can put bullet split on here, you can put enemy tracking on there, you could put any fire or poison status that you want on there. They behave just like normal bullets in every other way. So, yeah, I think it's pretty sweet. But they look like little entities, so I think that's fun. And they got little animations, and they follow you if they have no targets. So yeah, pretty cute if you ask me. Vecna's hand, I don't know what Vecna is. But, alright, so what I still need to do is I need to create a bullet impact effect for those skeletons. Because right now, if they collide with something, they just disappear. So that's the last thing that I need to do for the Necromancer gun. So, let's see. What do I need to do here? Edit or view owners, moss bullet. Okay, so I have to put the death scene in there. Okay. Moss impact. I think there's something special that I need to do here. Right, I need the animation for return to pool. Okay. So, let me think. I think I'll just duplicate this. Duplicate. Necromancer impact. Duplicate. Let's open it up. Rename this Necromancer impact. Animation player, what I want to do is manage animations, make these unique in here. Okay, and then for this, same deal, make unique recursive, okay. Make sure everything's unique. All right, so actually what I want to do here is I want it to, let's see. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. I think what I'll do is I'll create a bunch of separate particles and just use a separate texture for each one. So go to my material, reset that material there. Okay, so assets, gun, Necromancer. So we've got bullet arms, so we'll do that there. And this should just be one. Obviously, it doesn't need to have those, doesn't need to have that color, but let's do this. Head. Oops. Torso. Okay, so we'll just emit all of these at the same time, basically. Particles 2D animation. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. Display, animation, reset. Perfect. Okay. I should probably also change. Well, I'll get into doing all the colors and stuff here. Just remove that. There we go. All right. So default, we want to do head, and then torso. Emitting true, emitting true. Cool. All right. I just knew you'd be into D&D. Well, I'm kind of into D&D, but I'm not like... I don't know like all the lore and everything. I like playing the tabletop with friends, but yeah, I'm not super duper into it. That looks great, the Necromancer gun. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've been watching the VODs and they're great. Have you thought about doing a tutorial for how you handle characters state in Godot? Yeah, I've gotten a couple of requests to do like a state machine overview, so I may do that at some point. Just a more casual, like style video like I've been doing, like my shader video. So I may do that at some point. Right now I'm kind of in Gunforged completion mode, though. I gotta get this done. Hello, Rin. Welcome back. Great to see you again. Vecna was a lich that ascended to godhood. Oh, very interesting. Lost his hand and eye. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so let's just modify these things a little bit. Spawn, position, sphere, 4. Okay. Velocity. Initial velocity. I guess I should probably keep that the way that it was. What I might do is I might play with the scale a little bit here. This needs to be 1 and 1. But max value 1.25. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move that up so it poofs up a little bigger. Actually, you know what I might do? There we go. Cool. I think what I want to do as well is add some gravity. So direction, we'll also send it up. And then let's do some gravity here. Accelerations, gravity. Maybe I don't want the spread here. Let me think. Or maybe the spread can be bigger. Yeah, we'll see how that works. Okay, so we got the Necromancer impact now. So I should be able to just go to my Necromancer bullet and put this Necromancer impact in here. And let's see if that works. And if it looks all right, then we can move on to adding the haunt status, which should be relatively interesting. Okay. Okay. So so one of the problems here is that because of the way this visuals works, this is the global position here, but we've got all this body up here, so the particles are spawning at this position when they should really be spawning more at the center here. Now there's a very complicated way of fixing that, and there's also a very simple way of fixing that. And the simple way of fixing it is just to grab these and just move them up. Okay, that's it. Now let's see if that looks a little bit more natural. Still not entirely right. Let's see. I'm gonna instantiate Necromancer bullet. It may be the case that these still aren't high enough, so I'll do that. Yeah, let's try that. Let's give that a shot. Oh no, that's actually working a lot worse. Oh, you know what? Because it's being rotated. Oh, it's being rotated. So what's happening here is this whole thing is being rotated based on the normal direction. So right, okay, so I actually need to do this the other way. This needs to go that way. It's a little bit confusing, but I think that's correct. We'll see. That might not actually be correct either. May need to go to the left. Yeah, I may need to go to the left, actually. I don't know. It's very confusing. I actually may need to write some new code for this, but let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, that looks better. You know what? Let me think about this. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work because I want it to be like a fixed location. So the problem is that the bullet particles are spawning here, like I said. I want them to spawn up and offset upward all the time. So I may just need to add new code for this. Let's see. So we got the death scene here. This is being spawned at the global position. We're going to move that up. We're going to spawn that at the global position here. I think I might just have to do an export vector to death scene offset. I might just have to do that. Private vector to death scene offset. So the global position plus death scene offset. And let's see if that will work. That's probably the way I have to do it, unfortunately. I didn't really want to clutter up the export variables here, but, you know. Hello, Breckheck. Welcome back. Great to see you again. You as well, Christopher. Welcome, welcome. Always good to see you. It's Friday. Yes, indeed, it is Friday. Fridays don't really mean much to me anymore. But, yeah. Happy Friday to those who celebrate. So we need to go about 10 pixels up. Let's see if that works. So hopefully this is going to be better now. Yeah, that's much nicer. Okay. I love how they just kind of like crumble on the enemies here. That's really funny. Okay, let's see how it looks in practice. Just means I get to stop work coding and switch to game coding. Exactly. Yeah, there you go. they just go after the things and they crumble on them. It's so funny. I love that. Little freaking skeletons. They're so cute. Oh my goodness. You know, it'd be really funny is if they crumbled at the end of their lifetime too, instead of just shrinking out. The shrink out works great for the bullets, but I think these guys should crumble out as well if they go too far. That would be really funny, but that's a little bit too much work right now. Main thing I was worried about was just getting some death effects in there for them so they just don't disappear when they hit things. But yeah, look at that little Necromancer gun. So the other thing that I did is I created some visuals for the set bonuses. So previously it was unknown if you had the set bonus unlocked. So what I did is that when you have a set bonus active, and a set bonus is when you construct a thematically coherent gun. When you have a set bonus active, it will have this purple text here. It also changes the banner to be purple as well. And then in the rune overview, if you hover over this, it will tell you in the purple text, the set bonus is active and rune slots are doubled. So yeah, I think that's nicer. And then if I switch it over, you can see that, oh, now I don't have that set bonus anymore. That all goes away. But, you know, I now have a good indication of that set bonus being in place. So it's just something nice. I may also add like an effect when you change a gun to have a set bonus, like some kind of particles or something. But look at this, I've got a Dragon Necromancer gun now, and it should shoot skeletons that apply the fire status. Yeah, look at that. Flaming skeletons. I haven't tested Ricochet on these guys yet. I'd be really curious to see what Ricochet does. Ricochet is not going to be very useful on these skeletons just because they pathfind. So there are going to be some things that are less effective, but I basically, like, everything technically works with the skeleton. There are just going to be some things that are less effective. The interesting thing is, like, if you get the homing, add rune enemy track, I think. Is that what it is? What is it called? Or bullet track, I think, yeah. Add rune bullet track. If I, oh, goodness. Add rune bullet track. So if I have the bullet track, oh, if I have the bullet track now, oh my gosh, look at that. I'm sending so many skeletons at once. Go! Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Anyway, if I have the bullet track, then what will happen is instead of the skeletons choosing an enemy close to them, I can send them at a specific enemy. So the way the bullet track works is that the bullets will target the enemy that's closest to the crosshair. And so that means that I can kind of override the pathfind behavior of the skeletons. So if I want to attack that guy way back there, I can choose him and they all go for him. Now they'll hit things in the way, obviously, but oh my gosh, look at my army. That's so fun. Okay, all right, greaseball. It's 100% true, me too. It's almost game dev time. Yeah. Hello, Xenoblide. Welcome back to the stream. It's going well. How are you doing? I have an army, yes. I always play like a Necromancer class in every game that I play. And so it was just a matter of time before I added such a gun to Gunforged. They're so fast. And then, like, I love how when the target they're going after dies, they just immediately switch targets. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. This is my favorite gun of all time. I'm gonna die though. I also made this gun. Ooh, almost died. No, I didn't. I made this gun very rare though, so you're not gonna find it that often in your runs. I love the sound effects. Thank you. Yeah. I just went into Audacity and just did like a ghost. I took some pre-made like male voice things and then went in Audacity, pitch shifted it, added distortion, and then got like a little ghoul kind of thing. Hello, Zyloft. The skeletons look amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. Like, I love it. Absolutely love it. And I'm very happy that I was able to get it to work with all the other systems in the game, such that they behave just like standard bullets. Yeah, it's very nice. They just throw themselves at the enemies. Oh my gosh. And they're affected by bullet speed, bullet angle. So there's a stat called bullet spread or whatever, which determines, you know, how much a bullet can deviate from its path. That also applies to the skeletons. It makes them have a little bit of a wander behavior when they're going to their... So if you have a spread of 0, the skeletons will just make a beeline along their path. Like, they'll just stick strictly to their path. But the higher the bullet spread is, the more potential they have to actually wander off the path. So they become less accurate in that sense. And that was important for me to make work as well. Hail to fire. Ooh, this is going to be great. Ooh, put that there. Yes, Necromancer. Yes, look at this. Boom, boom, boom. Knockback increase, bullet splits when colliding with enemy. Oh, but I have... Yeah. Look at my minions. So the reason this is happening, I'm just going off on a tangent now, explaining everything that works. But when the bullet split happens, the bullets that are created from the bullet split are the entity that was hit that caused the bullet split is added to the ignore list of the new bullets. So that means that these guys do not see the training dummy as a valid target because they're a product of the bullet split. So the first guy goes right to him, but then when they split, they no longer have a valid target, so they just come and follow me. So that's my attempt at like balancing, well, bullet split wouldn't even work if it could collide with the enemy that it's split against, right? Because it won't physically move forward. It'll just, all of the bullets will just collide immediately. But it also works out very nicely with this, where they actually just go and find a different target. So yeah. Let's see how this works. Oh, did I lose? Oh, I lost fire. I took hail to fire thinking I was going to keep the fire, but I don't have it anymore. That's all right. Go, my minions. Yes, go. Oh, they're so cute. I can't stand it. Oh. If you mix lifesteal with skellies, do you get health from their damage? So there is not really a traditional lifesteal in this game because I'm using integer health, meaning that you have 3 health, which means you take 3 hits and you die. So lifesteal it can't really work in that sense. I do have a lifesteal passive, which is slightly different, which makes it so that if you kill 50 enemies that are affected by the bleed status, then a health globe will drop, guaranteed. So that is a form of lifesteal that you can get in the game, but it doesn't work like a traditional one. Are you going to make them despawn and have little bones wither away on the floor? No, I was thinking about doing something like that, but when they despawn, they just kind of shrink out of existence like the rest of the bullets. So I'm trying not to create too much bespoke code for these bullets specifically, because I still have to think like systematically, right? Like anything that I add to a bullet functionality should ideally work with any current or future bullets that I want to add to the game. And so I have to be really careful about like how I do these things. Oh, I lose. No, I don't want to do that. Put that there though. Fire rate increases, magazine depletes. Banana. Now that you have ally mobs, you might need a gun that spawns kittens that lunge and attack and disappear. Yeah, I can definitely do something like that. like I said, when I designed these bullets, these Necromancer skeleton bullets, I designed all the components in a way that are reusable for future bullets. So if I wanted to have, you know, like a cat gun, like you said, that also uses pathfinding, I can do that relatively easily now. This is my favorite gun ever. Oh my gosh. I really have some other work that I need to get to, but I'm just having a lot of fun with this gun. Watching your game makes my mind race with many different cool things you can add. Well, that's a good sign. I mean, I think that's a good sign at least. If players or potential players are like really involved in all the potential, I think that's good. Hello, do I make games? I've been known to dabble in game development. Welcome back to the stream, by the way, Rootbin. Ooh, bleed. Let's see. I'm actually kind of like actually playing the game now, which I wasn't intending to do, but here we are. Let's make this like a super pushback weapon. Should I reroll? I could reroll. Ooh, that was a good reroll. Look at that. Get an extra slot. All right, I'm prepped for some rune slots now. So I should have blood golems spawning now from the skeletons here. Oof. I gotta stop taking damage though. My run is gonna be ended prematurely if I keep taking damage. Look at that knockback. Get away. Look, it's the getaway gun. Just eat my bananas. I can create some space for myself, which is pretty cool. There's a health globe. Oh. Immediately squandered that health. I need the gold. I like your game, thank you. Top of the morning. Thank you, Asahi Dev. Welcome to the stream. Ooh, we got the prize wheel. All right, let me see. Grease ball, blazing trails, queasy. I don't have anything, so let's do grease ball, I guess. Duplicates the effect of the first rune in the first non-innate slot. Fire rate increases, so I could do bullets ricochet 1 additional time and then that. And I should have bullets ricochet 2 additional times, yeah. Okay. That's an upgrade. Well, capacity goes down though. That's not that. It's a 0.1 DPS increase. All right, let's spin the wheel. Let's see what we get. Nothing. I'm going to spin it again. I'm going to waste my money. Ooh, a passive. Secret Service. Yeah, thank you. Alrighty. That was worth it. 40 gold essentially for a Secret Service. I mean, it's not a bad trade, I don't think. I've got some like temporary HP now, basically. What did I duplicate again? Oh, the ricochet. Oh, right. I've got ricocheting bananas. My damage is not very high, though. I was also thinking you could have a gun that just spawns like 1 or 2 permanent, very slow golems, like bodyguards. Yeah, that could work. I mean, maybe it could work. Maybe not permanent, but like very long-lived. Like I could see it being the case where you've got like a magazine capacity of like 2, so you can summon 2 golems, but they live for like a really long time. And so you would want to pair that with a different gun that has like a very high magazine capacity. I don't know. I'll have to think about that, but that's a good idea. How do you make so smooth animations? It looks amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's all basically just the in-engine animation with the animation player. So that's probably why it looks so smooth, is because I'm not doing frame by frame animations. I'm actually doing like, you know, process mode animations, I guess you could say, where each frame, the portions of the sprite are actually being moved to some extent. So it looks like really smooth and fluid. Congrats on 20K. Thank you, Breck. Heck, very much appreciate that. We're going on. I'm going to get that silver play button. I only got to do 80,000 more subscribers. So please subscribe, everyone. Give me 80,000 80,000 more subscribers. You already have what I said, a little guy walking around with you. Yeah, I mean, something like a permanent golem might actually be better as like a passive ability rather than a gun. Loving the new content. It came back after a while and it looks great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, hell yeah. You were making me want to play the game with full-on summoner build. That's what I wanted. I wanted to have some kind of summoner kind of theme. So that's great. I'm subscribing, but I'm just one. That's unacceptable, Rootman. I'm just kidding. Thank you. Hello, Super Rad Maker. I hope you're doing well today. I am. How are you doing? Only 80K more. It's doable. We're going to get to 80K. Probably going to take a couple years, but we're going to do it. I will try to be 80,000. Hello, Nepal V. I'm doing well. How about yourself? Welcome back to the stream. Let's see what's going on here. I should really stop playing this and actually get to some of the work that I want to do. I'm not procrastinating, I swear. Like, I'm genuinely having fun with the game right now. I actually want to play it. So that's what I'm going to do. Enemies that die from poisons damage over time. Do I have poison? No, I don't. Let's do this one then. I saw that. Copycat. I don't want... Do I want copycat again? Fire rate increases. Bullets ricochet. I could do something really funny, actually. Oh, I'm going to try this. Ooh, this is going to be really funny. I'm duplicating this push. So let's see if my math is correct. So that's 200% between those two, but then this is duplicated twice. So that should be 400%. Yep, knockback is increased by 400%. Look at that. This is going to be really funny. I'm basically just going to send enemies flying. Check this out. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just get out of my way, enemies. See ya. Just keep the screen clear. Like, get away from me. Why not let the player completely break the knockback system and just send enemies really far away? Get out of my screen. Ooh. I think my Secret Service agent died. Ooh, I'm about to die, actually. Okay, never mind, we're good. Secret Service ×2, probably need that. Ooh, every 50th bleeding enemy killed will drop a health globe. I probably want that. Am I keeping track of that? Let's see. Current kill 0, yeah. Oh my gosh, we're gonna do it again. This is the knockback gun. 500% increased knockback. Provided by the magazine. Oh man. This is also, I'm gonna lose this push if I add a new magazine here. Although, I probably should actually, because I think I have Hail to Fire. Let's see. Yeah, I do have Hail to Fire. I'm not making use of this at all because I didn't have any fire. So that magazine there is going to give me some fire. I still have a good amount of push. I still got 400%, so. All right, let's see. The knockback doesn't work against bosses though because... Oh my gosh, I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, let's see. Does this work? There's my Necromancer guns. I haven't unlocked all the sniper parts. Yeah. I have to decide still if I want all of the guns to be unlockable from the start or if, like, there have to be conditions that you meet to unlock certain content. I have to decide that. I've got a lot of work to do still. Less than a 1% win rate. Obviously, all these runs are not complete runs, though. I've unlocked all the runes. Meta upgrades. What do I have, actually? Oh, health globe drop rate. I don't have enough money for any of this stuff. Long fingers. Okay. Anyway, we should probably actually get into some actual development now. All right, let's see. Add Necromancer bullet impact. Oops. Oh well. I must have gotten you at least one sub. I keep recommending your courses. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's my problem. I keep playtesting. Yeah, that's a good sign that your game is going well, though. If your game is good, you're playing instead of working, it's probably a good game. Yeah, I hope that's true. If, like, I want Gunforged to sell a couple thousand copies at least. If that happens, I'm gonna be set. So, if one of you here could buy 1,000 copies of Gunforged, that'd be great. I'm just kidding. Hit the thumbs up, y'all. Yes, please. Games that tend to do well are farming simulators. Based on what I've seen, there might be a popular genre, but I don't go off making them because I personally dislike them. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a couple of approaches from what I've, just following the game dev space on YouTube and other places. It's like there are definitely game developers that will do like a bunch of market research and make a game that just is designed to fit a certain market. But I'm the same way. It's like I don't really want to do that because like I would just rather make a game that I personally would enjoy, even if it's going to be in an oversaturated genre like roguelite, right? Okay, bullet impact is done. All right, let's create a haunt status effect. So this is going to be interesting because I haven't created a status effect in a while. So I haven't created a status effect in a while. So let's think about this. So first of all, what is the haunt status effect going to do? What the haunt status effect is going to do is that it's not going to do anything directly to the entity, but what's going to happen is that any entity affected by haunt is going to deal damage to an enemy in a certain radius of it. So it's basically going to become like a walking AoE damage. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that necessarily. The other thing that I want is I probably want haunt to, well, you know what? Let me think. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to think about this, but that's the gist of what I want to happen here. So, and I haven't created a haunt status effect in a while. Or I haven't created a status effect generally, so I'm going to have to probably think about this. So let's go to my poison status here. I'm going to copy this code and paste it. Create new file, haunt status.cs. Paste it here. Haunt status, scene path. Scenes component status, I need a haunt status there. Okay, I will deal with updating all this stuff later. I do need to create, let me look at poison status here. This has a script, which is what? Oh, it's just the script attached to it, okay. So I need to create a haunt status. So I'm just gonna go new scene, 2D scene, haunt status, scenes, component status, yeah, haunt status, okay. Let's go ahead and load that script onto there. All right, so I should be all set up here. Okay, let's actually deal with this now. So I might make this duration seconds. Let's turn this to 2. Damage percent. Let's do I want to make it like a really low damage, but I want it to proc very often. So I think I might do like 2% weapon DPS, but that's per stack. So you could potentially get up to 20% weapon DPS damage. Ready tick timer. So I'm going to need a tick timer. Duration seconds, tick timer dot wait time. Cool. So let me look at my poison status here. This ticks every 0.5 seconds. So I'm thinking the haunt status. Let's instantiate, or not instantiate, let's do timer. I'm thinking every 0.1 seconds here. One shot and auto start, huh? So every 0.1 second. So it's going to do 2% weapon DPS damage every 1/10 of a second. So that's going to do, I guess, 20% damage per second. I might even make this to 1%. Oops. I spilled coffee. Wow. I have a drinking problem. Anyway. At some point, every genre will be saturated. Might as well do what we think is fun. Yeah, absolutely. I keep having the urge to make something like Animal Crossing, but with a bunch more quality of life, so that me and my partner can play it. Yeah, I mean, that seems to be one of the best ways to make a game, is like find a game that you like, that you think you can obviously improve, and then do that, you know? Find it hard to work on things that you don't enjoy, yeah. I had a question regarding physics process and process functions in Godot. Do you have any advice to understand these functions deeper? Like when I would use one over the other? Yeah, so I think, generally speaking, I just stick to process for everything. So, I mean, the basics is that process runs every frame, basically. So if your game is running at 200 frames per second, then the process method is going to get called 200 times per second. Whereas physics process is fixed, which means that it's only going to run by default 60 frames per second. So every 1/60th of a second, it will call the physics process. And you know, there's different ways to think about it. You know, if you have a particularly taxing calculation that doesn't necessarily need to be run every frame, you can run it in the physics process, so it runs like less often than what the frame rate of the game is. The documentation recommends that if you're doing like character body 2D motion, that you should do that in the physics process, but I ignore that because prior to there being motion smoothing, or interpolation rather, with the physics system, it didn't look good. I'm on a high refresh rate monitor, so I'm at 144 hertz. But if your character's only moving 60 times a second, there's a mismatch between how quick your display is refreshing and how often your character is updating, and that was really jarring. The interesting thing, though, is that Godot can and does handle doing character body motion in the process method. It's actually an explicitly handled case if you look at the code, the source code. So I just do everything in the process. I very rarely ever use physics process for the kind of games that I'm making, and I have had zero problems. So my suggestion would be just like stick with process unless you explicitly need the physics process, or unless you're going to get some benefit out of using physics process. Again, I'm recommending something that is in direct conflict with what the docs recommend, but like I said, I haven't had any problems just sticking to process basically for everything. Warframe has Haunt, but it's called Blast, which is a mixture of freeze and burn. Oh, interesting. One idea is a bullet heaven RPG based on a book series. Bullet heavens. Yeah, I love bullet heavens. I mean, would Gunforged be classified as a bullet heaven? Bullet hell? Bullet purgatory? Blast is 1.5 second delay after proc for 30% base damage but once. Oh, interesting. I don't really have any delayed status effects. That's interesting. Yeah, you can change the process of the frequency of the physics process. Yeah, for sure. Can you explain how you instantiate an object in the game, like spawn in the level? It's just the normal Godot scene switching code. So there's a way to change the main scene of the tree, and it's just loading the level scene. I'm happy to elaborate if you have specific questions, but yeah, I'm not doing anything particularly interesting there. You see, that's what confuses me. Like, why would Godot handle stuff that seems like it would need the physics process function? stuff like that just confuses me. Yeah, I mean, there obviously have to be use cases where physics process is more appropriate. I just think like for the kinds of games that I make, I don't really have a need for it. So, yeah. I use the physics process, but up the ticks to 144, which is my monitor's refresh rate. It can be I mean, it depends. Are you using like other physics systems in your game? Like, do you have actual like rigid bodies that are colliding with each other and like responding to those collisions? Like, because, you know, doing the physics, the reason why the physics is set to 60 FPS is to create a more stable physics, to create a more stable physics simulation, to create a stable like delta between each frame so that everything acts very predictable. And the higher up you go in terms of upping that physics process frequency, I think the more unstable it could get, especially on lower end hardware. So I would say it's probably a bad idea to go, if you're doing like a very physics heavy kind of simulation game. But yeah, if you're upping the physics frequency just to make it the same as your monitor refresh rate, you might as well just use the process method. Because I guess the question for me would be, what happens if it's running on somebody's system and they can't reach 144 frames per second? Like, because the physics process is supposed to be a fixed interval, but if your computer can't keep up with that fixed interval, what's going to happen? I don't know. I'm sure Godot handles that in some way, but it kind of defeats the purpose of like the physics process, which is supposed to be like a rock solid stable frequency, whereas process is better designed to be more variable, if that makes sense. Okay. What am I doing? So yeah, I'm going to do 1% weapon damage per second. So 20% weapon damage over 2 seconds by default. Let's see, max stacks. Let's do, so if I'm doing 20% weapon damage, let's make it 100%. So we'll get maximum stacks of 5. Total ticks, duration seconds divided by tick timer dot wait time. Do I want to do sealed to int? Let's do round to int. Okay. Clear particles emitting dot false. I just realized I need to change all these things here. I'm not using that incapacitated status anymore. Okay. On tick timeout. Tick base damage. Apply internal. Okay, I guess I'll keep those things. Damage percent. Current stacks times damage percent. Yep. Health component. Get parent status receiver component dot health component. Damage. Calculated damage. No, so this is where I want to change this code here. So on tick timeout, right. Okay. So this is where I need to write my code. So I've got my damage here, but I need to get this health component differently here. So here's what I'm going to do. This dot get closest. How am I going to do this? Var entity owner is equal to get parent status receiver component dot owner as node 2D. How do I get closest entity to position? Game utils. Game utils dot get closest entity to position. We're going to do entity owner dot global position. We'll just make this null safe, I suppose. Data enum faction dot enemy vector 2 target position. Get closest entity to position. The problem in here is that I don't have a way of excluding myself as the owner. I don't have a way of excluding myself, so it's probably just going to select myself, but that's all right. Get closest entity to position, target position. What? Oh, no. Oh. Why is this? No. Let's just pass in this. Yeah, this is getting a little bit messy. Okay, well, we'll just deal with that later. Filter function. I mean, I could just pass in a filter function here. The problem is that that's passing in our hurt box. I suppose I could change this so it's like node 2D. This becomes entities I. And then it passes in the hurt box as well. I mean, that can work. Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing to do. But I'm gonna have to go and figure out. Let's see. Yeah, I'll pass in a filter function here. Closest entity position. So path find this. Since the hurt box is coming. So if that's going to be specific then, well, game utils, let's see. Maybe I'll make this specific hurt box component. Oh, that's not going to work. Okay, whatever. I'm actually not in love with that. I might change that. Ideally, I just filter out here. Okay. I'm actually just going to undo everything that I just did. Bear with me for a second. Yeah, we're going to get rid of this. Get rid of that. Oh, I need to add null there. This is very messy now. That's all right. Okay, so anyway, game utils exclude owner here. Okay, so we'll just do that initial filter there, which should work. And then for this exclude owner, get closest entity to position, exclude owner. I'm going to say entity owner, and then filter function. We don't need a filter function. Okay, all right. So that should work. So var target entity, and I could also pass in a filter function here. Let me think. Let me do a radius here. Private const float radius squared. If target entity dot distance, nope, global position dot distance squared 2, entity owner dot global position is less than or equal to radius squared, then we can do this. But I'll just say, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so then in here, we don't care about that. Put this in here. Okay, health component is target entity dot get, well, let's see. Target entity not equal to null, and that. Health component is target entity dot get, first node of type, health component. What does it want me to do here? Use conditional access. Oh, I guess that works. Okay. Goodness. We'll move the calculated damage down here. Okay, so basically it's going to find the closest entity. It's going to check if it's within a certain radius. If those things all pass, then it's going to go ahead and do the damage. And that's going to happen every 1/10 of a second. Over 2 seconds. Okay, cool. So now the particles here, I don't have particles yet, so I'm just going to get rid of this. Okay, I think that's fine. So now I have to have a way of applying this status, which means that I'm going to have to create an affix for it. So that's the next step here. I guess the physics-related nodes that I'm using are Area 2D and Raycast 2D. It's a grid-based game too, so I have a bad feeling that using physics process isn't the best solution. I would just use process, and you probably won't have any issues with that, honestly. Hello, Aniki, welcome back. Hello, Mark. Did your haunt damage end up being 1% times a maximum of 5 stacks? Yeah. Well, it's 1% per tick is the way to read it. So it's 1% per tick, and it ticks 10 times a second. So that means it does 10% damage per second. And it can stack up to 5 times. So that means it can do up to 50% damage per second for 2 seconds. And it's based on the damage, the DPS of the gun that applied to the stat. So that means that if you have 100 DPS and you've got 5 stacks, then it's going to do 100 damage over 2 seconds. If that makes sense. I'll start modifying it. Thank you. Appreciate you, dude. You are welcome. Happy to help. Happy to help. All right, so let's see. I actually need to take a quick 2-minute break here, but when I come back, what we need to do is create an affix now, and the affix is going to be, again, an affix is the same thing as a rune, so I'm going to need to write some new code that applies the status. Should be pretty easy because I'll just copy the poison status code and it'll be good. So, but I'll do that when I get back. In the meanwhile, check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can support me. You can purchase my Udemy courses. I'll teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. I also am very available on the Udemy Q&A and direct messages. So it's a great opportunity as well to just ask any questions you might have. But I'm going to go ahead and go on my little break real quick. And when I come back, we will put this haunt status into a rune. And then we'll add that as an innate affix or an innate rune to the Necromancer gun. All right, I'm back. You missed that it was ticking as often as you were talking your way through the function. Oh yeah. So all the status effects, they tick at some interval. The haunt is going to be unique in the sense that it's going to tick very fast compared to the other things, which I might try to find a way to tie that into some kind of like passive effect or something, but that's something for another day to think about. In the meanwhile, I need to create a new affix here, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and look for a poison affix. This is basically what I need to do. So create a new file in here, haunt affix.cs, paste it there, haunt affix adds haunt stacks to enemies on hit up to 5. Haunt deals 10% DPS per second per stack. Something like that. On entity collision, so this is very easy, right? Find the status receiver component, apply haunt status. And that's it. Okay, that was easy. The other thing that I need to do though is I need to create a custom resource for it. So resources, affix, create new resource, affix resource, haunt. Okay, haunt here, display name, haunt is available in demo, no. Icon texture, we're gonna need to come up with an icon texture for that, but I'm just gonna go ahead and, I guess I can leave it empty. Internal cooldown, feature tags. Do I need to add a new feature tag here? I might need to do that. You know what? I may as well just do that now, just in case. If I'm going to have this as a new status effect and passives related to it, I think I need to add that. So let's go ahead and add haunt. And let's build. Thank you for taking your time. Come on, let me in. Thank you. Okay, so feature tags, add element haunt. We'll just put, that has no effect right now, but we'll just go ahead and add it just so that as I start to add haunt things, it'll just automatically just be handled already. Okay, so now the next thing to do is to go to the Necromancer parts here. And let's go ahead and add that haunt affix there to all of these. So a full Necromancer gun is going to have 3 instances of the haunt affix. Cool. All right, let's run the game. Let's see if I broke anything super spectacularly. And then we'll have to add the visuals and whatnot, which I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work yet, but let's try this. So gun Necromancer left. Okay, so we've got this haunt. Adds 1. Haunt deals 10% weapon DPS per second per stack. Cool. Adds 3 haunt stacks to enemies on hit up to 5. Yes. Okay. 10% weapon DPS per second per stack. So what's 10% of 25? That's going to be 2.5, right? So we should see it dealing 2.5 damage over, well, it should deal something like that. I don't know. Okay, it appears not to have worked. We got some debug issues here. Tick timer. Did I not add a tick timer or did I not? Oh, I didn't call it tick timer. Here we go. I did not call it tick timer. That was the issue. Got Necromancer left. Boom. Still not working. Is this not within 64 pixels? It's either not working or this needs to be a higher number. How was your day? How's the gun coming along? Hello, Momo. My day is actually just beginning. It's only 11 a.m. here, but so far, so good. How's the gun coming along? The Necromancer gun is basically finished. I'm just adding the haunt status that goes with it now. But yeah, how's your day going? Okay, so this is obviously not working. So now it's time to investigate why that's happening. First, let me make sure I didn't make any obvious mistakes here. Duration seconds divided by, yeah, that should be 20 total ticks. Get maximum stacks, apply internal. Okay. Get closest entity to position. Entity owner. Global position. That all looks good. If target entity global position distance squared to less than or equal to radius squared. So let's go ahead and put a breakpoint in there. And we'll give it a shot. There's probably something really simple that I did wrong here. Okay, calculated damage. So we got 3 current stacks times damage percent times tick base damage. Calculated damage is 0.75. Target entity get first node of type. What is the target entity here? Oh. I forgot that this is returning. This is so this get closest entity to position. This is really a misnomer because it's returning the hurt box component. You know what I should do? This is just a mistake in how I've written this. Okay. This is returning a hurt box component rather than the entity. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to... Maybe I'll return a tuple. Node 2D hurt box. And node 2D entity. Okay, and then we'll do this. Null, null. And then here, this can be called... node 2D closest entity equals null. Oh boy. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to change this. All right, so let's see. Oh, I already have this in place. Interesting. Oh my gosh, I'm messing this all up. Okay. I'm gonna rename this searcher node. I messed this all up. Gee dang it. Okay. We're going to get rid of this exclude owner. I'm going to put this where in here, x.owner not equal to searcher node. I can get rid of this. That's just a redundant check in there. Closest hurt box, closest entity is equal to entity. And then I can do this. Okay, so I'm going to return the entity and the hurt box. And the reason I'm returning both is just so I don't have to do a redundant hurt box lookup here since I'm already grabbing it here. So I might as well just return that data if I have it. But now I got to fix all these places here. So target entity, we can just do this and then discard so we don't care about the hurt box there. This entity owner, get rid of this. This needs to be entity owner here. Okay. Phantom gun, right here. Target node. We want to target the hurt box, so this ends up being the hurt box component. Actually, I can actually type this now. So let's look at my game utils here. I can type this as a hurt box component. And then this closest hurt box here can be hurt box component. Cool. So now that that's typed, it's a little bit more clear what's being returned. Pathfind travel definition. This needs to be discard there. Oh, did I not? Yeah, I think that's fine. Anyway. This can't be null anymore. Cool. All right. Enemy tracking travel definition. Get rid of this null there. Target node. Can I destructure a tuple like this? Nope. Can I do a block here? Nope. I don't know. Okay, so that's not gonna work. All right, so I need to rewrite this too. Enemy tracking travel definition. Okay, if target player, target node equals player. I hope I'm not invisibly breaking anything. All right, anything else want to be broken? No? Let me just make sure that I've done everything correctly here. So, target node this. Why is that not broken? Okay. Just making sure. Trying to be very careful about how I'm updating this stuff. Oh, this is wrong too. Look at that. All right, well. Anyway, blood golem. I may actually change this blood golem to go there. Okay. Yeah, this is just a little bit of refactoring going on here. I just finished my game spawn system and now reworking the game art. Thanks for asking. Awesome. Yeah. Good. Always good to make progress on your games. It's a great feeling. Hello. Hello, D-Rose. I almost said hello, Firebelly. That's me. I hope your day in development are going well. They are. Thank you. How's your day going? I invisibly break things a lot. Yeah. That's my biggest fear whenever I'm working with these things here. Target node. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. Well, I hope I didn't break anything super bad, but I don't think so. I think everything should be fine. This probably should be hurt box, global position, entity. Do I want it to go based on the hurt box? I don't think so. I think I want it to be based on entity dot global position. Yeah. So I'm basically using the foot positions of each of the entities, and then I'm returning the hit box or the hurt box, because the thing is, like, if, like, for the phantom gun, for instance, the phantom gun shouldn't be shooting at the feet of the enemy. The feet position, like where everything is actually grounded on the ground, should be used for the distance calculation. But then when it actually comes to what should I aim at, that's why I'm returning the hurt box component as well, because the hurt box component is going to be centered on the entity. And so I get the closest entity based on its foot position, but then I also get its hurt box, so I can target that if I'm trying to send an attack at it or something. So that's essentially why I've got all this going on here. And, yeah, I mean, I think it's Yeah, so I also need to make sure that this is working. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, so that should be fine. So now in the haunt status here, entity owner. Okay, I think this is right. Okay. Anyway, let's see if that works. Let's build it first. No errors. Okay, very good. Very good, very good. Add passive phantom gun. I just want to see if this works still. Okay, it appears to be working. All right, that's working good. Spawn blood golem. Okay, that's working. Spawn blood golem. Cool. All right, so that's working good. What was I going to try now? Ooh, there we go. Haunt is working. Do you see that? It's probably happening too fast. Oh, I was like, where are these skeletons coming from? It's shooting. My phantom gun is shooting skeletons. That's hilarious. The thing about the phantom gun, though, is it strips all of the runes, so it's just shooting the bullet. That's funny. Okay, well, I'm gonna have it shoot bones though because I don't want it interfering with my testing. I may turn this down a little bit. Let's see. Damage percent to 0.02. And then this haunt status, let's do 0.2 there. So we'll just turn up we'll do it 5 ticks per second rather than 10 ticks per second. But the damage is the same because I upped the damage percent there. Yeah, okay, that's much better. So it's doing 10% weapon DPS, 30%. Yeah, 30% would be... Oh, wait, no. Oh, it'd be 60% total. I think that's right. Doing roughly 15 damage over there. I think that math is right. I'm sure that math is right. Make sure that it doesn't break when there's nothing in range. Okay. So I think that's working. I guess I'll go into the game and just make sure that it's working all right. I might have to tone down that radius again, but let's see. Actually, I'm going to do that now. Okay, so it looks like that must just be out of range, but let's see how this plays in game before I make any changes here. Yeah, maybe 96 is a better number. The radius is just a little bit too tight where it becomes not so useful. I think it would be fun to have some kind of like visual too. Like a little soul-sucking visual or something. But yeah, that seems to be working well. Hail to fire. Need an icon for that as well. Just keep going. These enemies are rather weak too, so. But let's maybe think about trying some visuals here. Yeah, it's interesting. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I don't know how I'm going to do the visuals, to be honest. Let's, I'm going to copy over this particles here. Let's just make this unique recursive before I forget. Okay, let's, firstly, let's go in and change the color curves here. Do like a blue. That's too light. Maybe something like that. Make it maybe fewer particles and then thicker particles. Scale, yeah. Let's bump it up. Let's not be afraid of some thickness. I'm curious to see what that looks like. Ah. Yeah, so if I had some like streaks or something coming out from... I don't know if I like that blue in there. Let's see. Color curves. Can I use a different color here? I might just make it just this color. Yeah, I think that's fine. I could really, if I really wanted to, if I was really dedicated to the cause, what I could do is I could do this. if I was really dedicated to the cause. Should I make his little tendrils? Yeah, maybe I'll make those. Let's do a really small one now. So like little ghost particles, little ghosties. Got like a long one, a fat one, and a really small one. I'm gonna call it, yeah, ghost particles, I guess. .png. Obviously, we're gonna have to fix that, but transform, or let's see, material. Make unique. Particles animation H frames 3. Cool. All right, and then we don't want really sort of any angular velocity here. We don't want any angle. Well, we might want, well, maybe you might want a little bit of an angle. Yeah, there we go. Problem is they're all facing the same way. Can I flip the scale? I need to get rid of this color curve too. There we go. I have no clue what this is going to look like. Hue variation? No. Can I do a minimum scale? I can't do a minimum scale here. Well, let's see. I wish I could scale it. I wish I could flip those around. Is there a way to flip the individual particles? You know what? Here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do. You can't flip them, join them. Then down here, I mean, I think there's like a, let's see. Drawing, index. Isn't there like a disable Z, align Y? A line Y might be good, actually. The problem, though, is now I need to... I think I need to make them all face to the right. Did I do it wrong? Oh no, I don't think I did. I think I'm just not thinking about it properly. It's actually almost correct. Wait a minute. Do I just need to rotate them again? Or rotate them the other way? So wait, if it's going to the right, it's going to be rotated like this. Wait a minute. If they go straight up, he ends up getting rotated. What? Hold on a second, I'm confused. Already spending way too much time on this. It's fine. I'm just going to make these all face the same way so that there's no confusion here. I need to rotate them 90 degrees clockwise. I need to rotate them upside down, is that right? I don't know. I don't know if that's right, but we're about to find out. I basically want them to generally have their heads pointed in the direction that they want to go. And apparently that's like super difficult, so we'll see. There we go. See how they're like kind of going up and out now, pointing the right direction? Now what I can do is I can take this and flip this again back the way that it was. So now that they're all going to look like they're facing different directions. There we go. All right. Now let's see how bad this looks in game after all that effort. We'll see. We'll see. You can double click an A sprite and it will select each grid. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. Thank you. Let me try that right now. Oh my gosh. That's so nice. Very nice. Thank you. Okay, anyway, let's see what this haunt looks like. You know what? That looks pretty cool, actually. But what I might do is I might take this scale here and turn it up just a little bit. And maybe turn the gravity up as well, so it puts more distance after a period of time. Let's see what that does. Turn up the amount and turn up the velocity. Should the ghost show in front of the enemies? I could potentially do that. The problem is the status system, the way that it works is that they always show behind the enemies. So I might need to do a little bit of work to get that working properly, but no, I think that looks good actually. Now the question is, what does it look like for if I spawn a rat here? Because while the enemies are moving is going to be a different scenario. That looks good, actually. I like that. I'm gonna turn down the spread a little bit here. So this spread from 90 to maybe 60, 50. Yeah. I think that looks pretty good. One thing that I might change here is I'm not sure that these have enough contrast. So I might just go a little bit darker on those. But maybe, I mean, maybe it's fine because they look a little bit more translucent when they're like that. I think it's fine. I need to not overthink it. Okay, I think it's fine. Okay, what was I gonna do? There was something I had in mind to do and now, oh yeah, trying to make them appear on top of enemies. So let me commit what I have before I make any grave mistakes here. Get it? Okay, add a haunt affix and modify get closest entity code. So how can I do this? So the way that it ends up working is that if I bring up my rat here, they got a status receiver component, which is behind the entity by default. So if I instantiate haunt status, it's just automatically going to be put behind it. Let's just see what it looks like anyway. Let's see. I can just leave that there. I think. This might actually error. That looks perfect. Yeah, I think it's looking good. They can kind of get hidden by them. Yeah. Can you make the ghosts glow slightly? I can. Let me see if let me try that. Looks great when the enemies are moving. It gives a haunted dust trail look. Yeah, I think it's fine. I'm just gonna see what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, rendering in front maybe looks a little bit cooler, but I don't think it's enough where it's worth changing how that system works. So we're just gonna have to deal with that limitation, I guess. But in terms of the haunt status, I think the only way I can make them glow really is if I add an additive light 2D. Put this up here. Change this to white. I can actually use a different kind of color here. That would be really the only way to do it, so let's see if that works. That actually kind of looks good. Let me, the problem is that for larger enemies, you're not really going to be able to see it that well, but if I do a light 64 in here, and if I turn down maybe the modulate just a tad more, give it just like a slight glow. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I should probably fade that out though when the status effect ends. Yeah, I need to fade it out when the status effect ends, which is fine. I can do that. Let me see what it looks like in game. Can you mess with the z-index or maybe have 2 attachment nodes that statuses can get put into? Yeah, that's probably what I would do, is I would have a different attachment node. But yeah, I would have to figure out how that works. How that would work in the game. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that, I don't know, what do we think? Do we like the glow or not? Ignore my last measures, we moved on, yeah. Good is hell. Thank you, OXS. Couldn't you add an environment tag and set a modulate color? An environment, oh, yeah, I don't know what you mean by environment tag exactly. Looks perfect, you like it? I think it's just enough of a glow where it really emphasizes the haunting. So let me do this then. So I'm gonna take this additive light 2D node private additive, well, let's just do this. Node 2D additive light 2D. So when clear is called, we're gonna do var tween equals create tween dot tween property additive light 2D scale to vector 2.0 over a duration of 1 second, tween callback callable dot from queue free. And I'm just going to get all of this out of here. Okay, let's see if that works. So that should more gracefully terminate the additive light 2D. Instead of it just popping out of existence, it'll just shrink. I think what I'm going to do is speed that up. We want to make sure that this is a duration of 1 second though, to give the particles enough time to finish before we queue free the node. Nice dab emoji. I freaking love the dab emojis. There's an environment node you can add to the scene to add glow and lighting effects. Oh yeah, I started working on this game before glow was supported in the compatibility renderer, I believe, and I'm just not using any glow in the game at all, and I don't want to make a radical visual change like adding glow, like real glow, now that the game's almost finished, because I've gotten so used to how the art looks now that I really don't want to do anything extra. The way that I'm accomplishing glow is I'm either using real lights, so I think in this case it's a real light over here, or I'm just using that additive light, which is just a blend mode. It's not a real light. And that's just kind of how I'm doing it. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, if I really was... I'm really tempted to add like some easing to that so it's not like a linear fade out, but... Where are you? Why are you stuck, sir? That's not good. Is there a reason why you're stuck there? There's no errors. Well, I hope that error doesn't present itself in game. It shouldn't. I don't know why that's happening, but glow looks good and seems performant. Yeah. World environment node. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Is he stuck inside the collision shape? He might be, yeah. That's the first time I've seen that issue, so I'm not gonna do any too big of an investigation into it. Okay, so the only thing that I need to do now is I need to add some kind of I need to add some kind of, so when the enemies around the haunted enemy are taking damage, I need to make it so that there's like a little wisp of something that like goes from the enemy to the haunted enemy. You know what I mean? But let's see. Add glow to haunt status. Good idea on the glow, thank you. Okay, well, unfortunately, that's going to be it for the stream today, but let me write this down. So that's done, that's done. I want to add a visual. Glad I could be of help, yeah. All right, so that's going to be it for the stream. Thank you all for joining, thank you all for watching. Gunforged is coming along very well, so yeah, I'm very excited to get this finished and into your hands. Like I said, this month is all content development month, so basically I'm just grinding away, trying to get everything that I want to be included in the game and that includes things like making sure that there's enough content so to keep the game fresh, right? So to keep the runs fresh, you can try a bunch of different builds, you encounter a bunch of different gun types and a bunch of different enemies. So yeah, there's still a number of enemies to create for the cave level that I'll be working on, but I may be doing a stream a couple times this weekend. I don't really have a stream schedule for the weekend, so hit the notification bell to be notified when I'm going live. Otherwise, I'll be back at it on Monday at the same time. And again, please check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways that you can support my work. Thank you everyone for who has supported, and thank you to everyone who's going to support. I very much appreciate it, and I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you all in the next one. All right, bye-bye everyone.